Because it takes crisis for most people to change.
Why is it so hard for us to say, my life's like 70% pretty good, but it's not like exactly what I want? Why is it so hard to make a change then? Why is it so hard to change when things are pretty good? I've got a good, marriage is pretty good.
Yeah,
My health is, I'm only 40 pounds overweight. Why is it that much harder when things are good to change?
because it takes crisis for most people to change. And yet, you don't have to wait for that. You actually could say, I want to be defined by a vision of the future every day. That's what I want. But for most people, it takes that crisis or that something where all of a sudden they can see themselves for the first time. Nothing's making that feeling go away, and they don't feel like themselves. And they can see how they thought. They can notice how they were acting. They can feel how they've spent their whole life feeling, and they objectify their subjective self. They become conscious of their unconscious self. So for most people, then it takes that person or that circumstance or that condition to finally make up their mind to change.
For me,
And the last part about that is for the person who's not changing, they're not choosing. They're just comfortable in the known. And the unknown is when you're at your best, because there's uncertainty, there's unpredictability, there's chaos. That's the energy that you have to organize to create with.
the thing that's worked for me really well is really having a vision of a future that I don't have yet, that I dream and desire in a big way, that is a fulfilling vision of the future for me. Or it's like, God, there's something like in my heart that I haven't lived yet in terms of a vision that's greater for myself, that I feel like I'm supposed to be living. I'll do whatever it takes because it's so big that it demands a new way of being. But for me, it's having that dream or vision so much bigger that it demands me to become different.
Yeah, I think the highest form of motivation is mission motivation. When you have a vision that is big, like in some way selfless, to change people, to change the world, to do something, that is the highest form of motivation because it's the most selfless form, and we're wired to be selfless.